Please, oh, hold on. Please be seated. Students, families, friends, administrators, and honored guests, welcome to the 2018 Fall Induction Ceremony of the Gamma Beta Pi Honor Society. As we gather here this evening, reflecting and celebrating, we focus on our purpose together. William Shakespeare, in his play Henry V, wrote the following inspiring words: "As many arrows loosed several ways come to one mark, as many ways meet in one town. As many flesh streams meet in one salted sea, so may 1,000 actions once afoot and in one purpose, and be all well born without defeat. We are like those many arrows, each coming from a different source, each with unique talents and variety interests. But as members of the Gamma Beta Pi Honor Society, we all promise to support one another and to focus our energies on the society's goals. We follow the design laid out before us, assured that our strength of intent and clarity of purpose will assist us in our aims." Dr. Carver.
Thank you and good evening. I'm Bill Carver, president of Nash Community College, and you can always tell when you're having a honor society function, they quote Shakespeare. So, thank you for those words, Ellis, and getting us ready for this event. And Nash Community College has many celebrations, but we always welcome the opportunity to celebrate accomplishments. And these students that we have this evening have accomplished a great deal. They've accomplished it at a high level, and that's what you should do. I wish all students would do the things that you have done and achieve the grades that you have achieved and show the leadership and the stick-to-itiveness that it takes to become a Gamma Beta Phi member. So you are not marginal. Marginal is okay, right? You're above average. You have achieved at the high level, and you're to be congratulated. Once again, I would say that we look forward to you graduating and crossing the stage and wearing your medal proudly. That is going to be handed to you this evening. And for you, that audience, if this has been your first venture to Nash Community College, I see some friendly faces out there as I look out on the crowd. Welcome to our campus. And if you haven't had a chance, for those that this might be your first time, take a look around and ride around. We're mighty proud of it, as we are these award-winning students tonight. Thank you.
I'm standing in for Christiana right now tonight, and I'm just going to tell you all a little bit about the history of Gamma Beta Phi. The National Organization of Gamma Beta Phi Society was chartered on March 22nd, 1964 in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Gamma Beta Phi was created by a group of Southern college educators as outgrowth of the high school Beta Club. Nationally, the organization has chapters all across the United States with approximately 40,000 active student members. The Gamma Beta Phi Society is an honor and service organization for students in colleges and universities in the United States. It is non-secret, non-profit, and co-educational.
The name of the organization is derived from the first letters of the three Greek words for education, life, and friendship. The name signifies that education and friendship constitute the basis of a full and happy life. The motto of Gamma Beta Phi is progress through education. The three watchwords of the society denote the major objectives of Gamma Beta Phi: scholarship, to recognize and encourage individual excellence in education; Character, to promote the development of leadership, ability, and character in its members. And Service, to foster, disseminate, and improve education through appropriate service projects. Our chapter, the Nash Community College chapter of Gamma Beta Phi, was chartered on February 7th, 1975, through various projects, including our long-standing Adopt a Grandparent program. Gamma Beta Phi shows its commitment to serving our world. Members of the Gamma Beta Phi Society subscribe to and seek to live by the principles of honesty, knowing that honesty is a necessary attribute of good character and effective leadership; service, being aware of the fact that true happiness comes only through helpful service to others; industriousness, knowing that real progress can be achieved only if the mind is alert to comprehend and the hands ready to perform individual and community tasks; humility, being convinced that true humbleness of spirit is the only proper attitude to maintain in their relations with their associate; justice, believing that it is only right and proper to be just and fair in their dealings with other individuals; to condemn no one without giving him or her a chance to defend himself or herself; to consider all factors before forming an opinion of another's motives or before passing judgment on his or her actions; cooperation, realizing that they must work closely and harmoniously with others in this day of highly organized social and economic endeavor; responsibility, assuming full responsibility for their actions and accepting opportunities to fulfill their social, economic, and moral obligations; charitableness, being over-tolerant, generous, and considerate in their relationships with others; and courteous, gentle, and kind in their attitudes and actions towards their fellow men. These are the principles that members of the Gamma Beta Phi Society adhere to in their promotion of scholarship, service, and character.
Lisa Cooper has taught communications and drama courses at Nash Community College for over 15 years and is the current department chair for Humanities and Social Sciences. She holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in Public Relations with a minor in theater from Western Michigan University and a Master's of Arts in Communications from Emerson College. She has recently returned to the classroom to pursue her PhD in Communications at Regent University. Her leadership, collaborative skills, and passions for students learning have been demonstrated through programs she has imitated or called to manage. She created a drama program and a dinner theater event that is now heading into its 15th year that involves various co-curricular programs at Nash Community College. As part of the college reaffirmation process, she chairs the QEP committee tasked to create an enhancement plan that impacts students' learning and success. In addition, she is the drama club co-advisor and director, member of Nash Reads Committee and Strategic Planning Committee. Her passion is collaborating with peers and working with and supporting students. We welcome Ms. Cooper as our honored guest.
Thank you, Ellis, and thank you so much for the honor to be able to address you, to address exemplary students and their support units, mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, friend, neighbor, and maybe even a few faculty, staff, or administrators here at Nash Community College. Thank you. As I was preparing my remarks for this event, I became distracted and dismayed by the tragedies that unfolded this weekend at the Tree Hill Synagogue in Pennsylvania. And I was moved and reassured with the thought that I would be speaking to a group of people that could be living those watchwords of Gamma and be making a difference. That particular neighborhood had another resident, and you may have heard this in the news, but just 3 blocks down, Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, he lived there. And I thought, what would Mr. Rogers have to say about these events? For 33 years in broadcasting, he sent messages of acceptance, of love, of respect, and of, quite frankly, mental health well-being. That's what he taught kids. But I believe his principles speak to adults and speak to our very honored students today. So, if you will indulge me, we are going to enter Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And we are going to consider some of his lifelong principles that actually speak to us today. Those would be the principles. I should sing too. It's such a great feeling to know you're alive. And those 4 principles I would like to speak to you from Mr. Rogers' neighborhood are caring, context, consciousness, and community. The first word is care. He was famous for saying, "I like you just the way you are." Home should be unconditional, but work is kind of conditional. So we need to be assertive and participative. So we care for ourselves, but we care for others. In your personal, academic, and professional neighborhood, practice those. You are special, but show concern and consideration to others. And I'd also like to point out that care and concern show discipline as well. When you say you're going to be somewhere, you are there. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. You have that framework and you live by it. And our students that are here today have shown both self-care and discipline. The second word is context. Fred Rogers would say, to know why a person is the way he or she is, one has to know his or her story. We all have a story. But if we want to know why someone is mean or angry or sad, we need to listen. And we need to listen compassionately. Some of you may know that I teach public speaking, but what we really need is public listening. The third consideration is consciousness. Fred Rogers would say, anything that is mentionable is manageable. So you can talk about feelings, and you can talk about them, and confront them, and consider them, and be able to deal and manage them. Awareness that there are no barriers between reason and feelings, but be aware of yours and of others. And I would say there are multiple IQs. We've heard of the cognitive IQ. And some of you, if you've at least taken ACA, have heard of emotional IQ. And I believe that there's a spiritual IQ as well. But it's all of those working together. They're not separate. We need to integrate all 3 to be very aware of our consciousness. And finally, community. Fred Rogers would say, we are a part of everything that has come before us, that is now, and that will follow. Humans really do have a deep need to connect with others. I think actually that may very well be the thing that makes us human, is the need to connect. And through those deep connections, we really find our ultimate purpose and meaning within ourselves. And quite frankly, we are and must be connected to that broader world. So I encourage you to find a mentor and be a mentor. This way we will all continue to grow. There's a very special exercise Mr. Rogers often led, and so we're going to do that now. I'm going to ask you, please close your eyes and think of that very special person in your life who loved you into being. And we are going to take a full minute to reflect on that person and how he or she continues to influence us today. You may open your eyes if they aren't crying. So inductees and special guests, I hope you will all practice the principles of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, including care, context, consciousness, and community. We all need to be good neighbors, good Gamma neighbors to our family, our school, our work, and ourselves. So, I will end, as Mr. Rogers often ended his production, and say, you make each day a special day. You know how? By just being you. There's only one person in this whole world like you. And people can like you exactly as you are. Thank you. I think I had more clothes than Fred. So inductees, are you ready? Please stand and come forward as your name is called for the presentation of your medallions. As names are called, you can hold them till the very end. Are we ready? Mauricio Avila. Abel Raya Cabrera. Tanala Caudle. Azaria Farmer. Michaela Fields. Curtis Griffin III. David Jones. Sarah Joyner. Laura Louie. Ora Pierce. Jacob Smith. And Hannah Whitehead. And now Marguerite Jackson will lead you in the membership pledge.
New inductees, please recite the membership pledge after me. I solemnly declare that I shall always strive to hold fast the principles of honesty, it's on the back here. We'll go again, guys. It's okay. All right, ready? I solemnly declare that I shall always strive to hold fast the principles of honesty, to maintain a standard of academic excellence, in active promotion of these ideas in our school, community, state, and nation. Congratulations.
New members, you may extinguish your flames. Let us congratulate all of the new members in their achievement and have one more round of applause. Thank you again for sharing in this celebration of achievement. You are all invited to share refreshments with us at the back of the room. Thank you.